Imagine your life was a gallon of milk with an expiration date printed on the side. Would you just leave it on the counter, wasting away, or would you savor it while it's still good? I'm going to give you a term, QTR, quality time remaining. I'm on a group text with a bunch of guys, and what we do on these group texts, and it's really affected me, is when one of us is doing something cool, they send a photo, whether he's hunting in Montana or golfing on a great golf course or sitting on a beach in the Caribbean. We take these pictures and say QTR, and it's just a moment of quality time, reminding everybody else in the group that we're on a clock that's ticking. See, I think our life is not about necessarily all the minutes we live, but it's a handful of memories and moments that were special. The birth of your children, the day you got married, the day you graduated college, a magic moment with the person you're intimate with. And some of them cost nothing, like Bella climbing into daddy's lap and us just talking up close and her giving me a kiss on the cheek. When you know your time is limited, and it is, every second becomes sacred. All of us will wish for more time. Today you have it. Spend it like it matters, because it does. QTR thinking pushes you towards legacy building rather than life drifting. We've all been trained and programmed to be intentional about goals, dreams, purpose, relationship, body, diet, nutrition, and maybe even our peace, but not quality time, not those moments. What I'm saying to you is there's an expiration date on your life. You're as young and as healthy as you're probably ever going to be right now. The milk of your life tastes better right now than it ever will. Savor it while it's still good. Buddha said, the trouble is you think you have time. Ask yourself this question. If your life ended right now, did you have all the quality moments you deserve? Did you give them to your family? Or are you just friggin' busy? All right, welcome back to the show, everybody. So this week's podcast is a special one for me because I'm going to talk to you about something I've been talking to many of my friends about now for a little bit over a year. I'm going to give you a term, QTR. You heard that before? My guess is 99% of you are not, but here's what QTR stands for, at least in my world. Quality time remaining. See, I'm 54 years old now, and I'm on a group text with a bunch of guys that are somewhere between 45 and 75 years old. And most of these guys, I'll let you in on the inside, are very financially successful men. And we have this group text that we keep sending one another about QTR moments. And I'm in one group that's a little small group of just 2 or 3, 4 guys, but I'm on another one that includes about 30 dudes. And it just happens to be all men that were on this group text because it was a trip we were all going on. And it turned into this QTR concept, quality time remaining. And it's something that I have been having on my mind now for quite a while that I wish was on my mind when I was younger. But I want to ask you that. You know, I'm evaluating in my life right now, like how much quality time remaining do I have on this earth, in this life? At 54 years old, you know, quite frankly, I don't know how long that is. It could be, it could be 20 years. I'm not talking about how long I'm going to live. I'm talking about quality time remaining, like healthy living. It could be 2 years. It could be 20 years. Life isn't infinite. We all have a limited number of sunsets, a limited number of conversations, limited number of hugs and chances in our life. And I don't think life is it's not just about how much time you have left, but it's about how we choose to live it. Whether you're young or you're old, by the way. I know some of you that are younger are listening to this. Han is this Korean philosopher. He has this quote. He says, young people, they're too alive to die and too dead to live. What he means by that is the rush, the hustle culture that we all live in, which serves us in many ways and that I'm a part of to some extent. But that so many of them they're so young, they're not going to die, they're alive, but they're too dead to live. They're too focused on the future. They're scrambling. They're on their phone. They're watching TV. They got work. They got this meeting. They got another thing. They got this. They got that. And they don't live. So let me give you an example of what I mean by that. All of you listening to this, I want you to think about the quality time you have remaining. See, if you're 30 years old right now, I'm 54. But I want to talk to you about quality time. When I was 30 years old, nobody told me that in 3 years, you'd have a heart attack, which I did when I was 33. So that kind of affected my view of quality time, huh? No one would tell you that when you're 30. You think you're young and you have a ton of quality time left. Well, that heart attack had gone another way. I wouldn't have had it. And it did affect my life. It didn't tell me that I'd have about 18 more years left with my dad. That I'd have 18 more years of quality time remaining with my dad. And then that would be it. And that's when I was 30 years old. They didn't tell me that I'd have 8 more years before I'd have my first bout of cancer. They didn't tell me that. They didn't tell me that I'd have 20 years left with a good back before my L3, L4 would compress. My point that I'm making to you is quality time remaining, you may not know. And what we do on these group texts, and it's really affected me, is when one of us is doing something cool, they send a photo, whether he's, hunting in Montana or golfing on a great golf course or sitting on a beach in the Caribbean or sitting with their granddaughter on their lap or at church doing something really, really special. But we take these pictures and say QTR, and it's just a moment of quality time, reminding everybody else in the group that we're on a clock that's ticking. And each of us send these pictures, with the exception of me. I've never posted one. I am probably the wealthiest of that group, yet I've never sent a photo into the group. I think I'm the only one who's not done that in the big group. And it made me really reflect on my birthday recently, like, when am I going to start having those memories and those photos? And I better hurry up, because I know at 30, I didn't think in 3 years something was going to happen to my heart, or 20 years my back would basically get destroyed, or I'd only have 18 more with my dad. I want you to really think about that today. And it's a good thing to begin to live intentionally. Maybe you should start that group text with your crowd, no matter what age you are. QTR, picture of you at the concert, picture of you skiing, picture of you making a great speech, picture of you accomplishing one of your goals, picture of you doing the things of your dreams. You know what I'm talking about, the things that feel right in your heart, not the things you got to do, you're in a hurry to do, you're busy to do, you're supposed to do. That's not what I'm talking about. You know exactly what I mean. Those highlights of your life type moments. I remember when I was young and we would go out to dinner as a family. Every time we were done, little Bella would get out of her seat. This is, by the way, time she was 3 all the way till she was, or a young woman. She would get out of her seat, she'd come over and sit on Daddy's lap and give me a kiss. And we would just talk for a second while the family was talking. And it was just a chance for me and her. That's a QTR moment, right? I've been to World Series games and Super Bowls. Those are QTR moments. But so was going to Max's Little League game or watching Bella play softball, right? Certain things I've been able to do when I've spoken on stages. That's a QTR moment. But you know what I mean. The things of your heart, of your dreams that you think you're going to get around to doing or you will do, but you don't do very much. Start your QTR text. Start your QTR list, at least with yourself. Maybe there's 2 of you. Maybe there's 1 of you. And start creating more quality time remaining moments, because I don't care how old you are. You've got limited time left and time flies. And as you get older, it goes faster. See, that's what QTR means. Quality time remaining. It's a good reminder to know that this ends. There's a good reminder to know that we're on the clock. We forget as we get busy and we hustle and we meet and we do stuff and we climb the ladders that we don't even know why we're still climbing. And we should climb them. There's different views at different ladders, at different heights of life. To the extent that you want to do really cool things, it does require resources. But most cool things in life require none. And we miss most of those in the thought that someday we'll get around to them. Here's what I want. A lot of them. I've lived a life where I've had a few biggies, but I want a lot of them. I want a lot of them. I think God wants you to have a lot of them. If I were praying for you, of course I want you to have more money, but I'd much rather you have magic moments, incredible memories. And if you don't get intentional about it, your day will get away from you. And then your week will. And then the month. And oh my gosh, it was a year and I had 2 QTR moments. Oh my gosh, I've been on this group text now for a couple years. I've not posted one. And by the way, I've had some. They weren't in there, but I don't have as many as these other guys because they're intentional about it. Some of them are very wealthy. Some of them are pretty wealthy, I'll be honest. But the fact of the matter is they're all intentional about that part of their life. We're intentional about our goals, aren't we? We're intentional about making more money. We're intentional about our health. We're intentional about X, Y, and Z. But are we intentional about quality time remaining? The moments of our life, the memories of our life? Think that through for your life right now. If your life ended right now, did you have all the quality moments you deserve? Did you give them to your family? All of the quality moments, your children, your spouse, your grandchildren, your brothers and sisters, your parents, your friends have deserved. Have you created those quality time remaining moments, those quality times? to the abundance and the amount and to the depth that you deserve, that they deserve, that you were designed to have? Or are you just friggin' busy? Are you just going to... Look, I believe in delayed gratification, but you can take that to an extreme like I have, and then you're in your 50s and you're like, well, is it time now? How about now? Right? And I believe in the service of other people in a deep way, but not at the expense of everything else in your life. And I have sort of OD'd on the service of other people in my life. I'm evaluating everything. I'm evaluating how much speaking I'm going to do. I'm evaluating this, what I'm doing with you right now. Quality time remaining. I'm enjoying making this contribution. But there's a beach out there that I haven't been on in a couple months. There's some golf courses calling my name. There's some horses that need to be ridden. Both those things require my back to get a little bit better. There's some places around the world I'd like to see. And you know what? I'd like to just sit for a few days alone and do nothing. You know what I'm talking about? So that's QTR, everybody. The Range Rover Sport blends power, poise, and performance with a design that's distinctly British. Free from unnecessary details, raw power and agility shine in the Range Rover Sport. To truly make an impact, you need to take the lead. You need to adapt to whatever comes your way, and when you're that driven, you drive an equally determined vehicle. The Range Rover Sport. Like you, it was designed to make an impact. The Range Rover Sport combines a dynamic sporting personality, elegance, and agility to deliver a truly distinctive drive. The assertive stance of the Range Rover Sport hints at its equally refined driving performance, defining true modern luxury. The Range Rover Sport includes the latest innovations in comfort and convenience. Use the cabin air purification system alongside active noise cancellation for all new levels of quality, comfort, and control. A force inside and out, Range Rover Sport was created with a choice of powerful engines, including a plug-in hybrid, with an estimated range of 53 miles. Build your Range Rover Sport at rangerover.com/US/sport. Number 2, you need to recognize that time is a non-renewable resource. Stop treating it like it's renewable. Money, possessions, status, all replaceable. Time is not. So if you're spending time in a relationship right now that is toxic or doesn't serve you, doesn't fulfill you, doesn't give you quality time, it's the wrong place. Get out. Stop spending time in it, or change them. Right? You cannot get time back. Don't spend another minute, another second in a life that you don't love, that you're not working towards, that you don't deserve. You deserve a great life. And by the way, when I'm on that group text, I'm like, I'm so proud of these guys. Yeah, he got another one. Yeah, he went deer hunting. Yeah, he played this golf course. Man, he took a morning swim in his pool. Quality time remaining. And I'll just send that picture. Picture that with your friends, right? One guy just last week, grandson and granddaughter on his lap. Quality time remaining. They were just at a park. I'm like, yeah, man, that's awesome. And I'm so proud of these guys because they could be doing all kinds of other things and distract their lives. One of the first interviews I did, I don't remember the young man's name. One of the first podcasts I was ever on, this young man told me the story about his father who had worked very hard all of his life, really hard, and sacrificed everything. And I believe he was in his late 50s, and he had retired. He sent an email out to everybody on the Friday, I've retired, I've finally done it. And I believe as the story went, he was leaving on Monday to go on his first real vacation ever, a real one, over to Europe. And everyone was chiming in on the email, you go, congratulations, you've worked so hard, you've earned it, etc., etc. And he died on Saturday. He never got to it. He just worked himself into the grave. This has become part of our culture. It's celebrated. It's not right. I'm going to be one of the first people to tell you, by the way, I've been sharing with a few of the top people in personal development who you know and whose shows you watch, maybe like mine. Hopefully you watch mine first and most. And I've been telling them this, and they get emotional. The people that I've shared this with, that you know. I've said, hey, I'm getting on this QTR tip, and here's what it is. And they're like, would you please talk about it more? Please write a book about it. Please. Now, by the way, once this podcast is out, somebody's going to copy it like they do all of my work, which is fine because more people will hear it. But I am going to write about it. I'm going to take a deep dive into it. But I want to give it to you on the podcast today first before it starts getting copied. Number 3, prioritize the important over the urgent. Often we waste time on urgent emails, errands, scrolling on our phone, and neglect the truly important things: connection, purpose, dreams. Remember this, urgency steals from importance if you're not intentional. Urgency steals from importance if you're not intentional. It will rob you of the important, being urgent. And the reason it matters to be intentional about this is you're more powerful than you think you are. When you're intentional about something, you end up getting it. And so making QTR an intention of yours will automatically open up a space that didn't exist beforehand. This is really critical. When you're intentional about something you got to do at work, by and large, you get it done. When you're intentional about wanting to get your body changed, by and large, you get it done. Intentions matter. And when you get really intentional about something, eventually you make it to come to pass. So I want to challenge you. Be intentional about QTR. If you don't do that, your life will just go back to normal. And it's very easy to do. Many of you would say to me, man, I've had a QTR. It was like 8 Sundays ago. I was riding a bike. Right? It's not expensive. A lot of it's not expensive. It's taking in a moment. It's taking in a moment, but it's being intentional about creating it. These things aren't going to just fall in your lap. I think that's what we think. I got to be intentional about my goals, intentional about making money, intentional about getting my body in shape, intentional about living a long time, intentional about my relationships. But the quality moments, they just sort of show up. They just sort of happen. They'll come along. No, that's why there's so few of them. That's why there's only a handful. But when you get intentional about it and you do that repetitiously over a year period of time, you have a QTR list, right? And you start really thinking about this, more show up. And guess what? More QTR, better life. Less QTR, worse life. Period. I don't know if more money gives you a better life, probably, but not always, right? I don't know if being in shape gives you a better life, probably, but not for sure. More quality moments in your life, better life. An abundance of moments like that, better life. Waiting for them to show up, not so smart, yet that's what we do. We've all been trained and programmed to be intentional about goals, dreams, purpose, relationship, body, diet, nutrition, whatever it might be. And maybe even our peace, but not quality time, not those moments. By the way, number 4, I advocate that you create a QTR mindset. It's always risky when you put this out on a podcast because it can be mistaken to some extent, or, someone will get ahead of you on it. And I just want to say something to you. Live like your time matters, because it does. Ask yourself this question. If I only had 5 years left, would I be spending today this way? I think that should be a filter you look at every day. There are days of our life that require hard stuff and difficult stuff. But can I just say something to you? And I've contributed to this as well. There's no shortage of people saying this on the internet. You got to do the hard things. You got to do the hard things. You got to do the hard things. You got to grind. You got to go. There's no shortage of that. Now, was I one of the first people to start teaching it because I'm old? Yes. But there's no shortage of people. Some say it intensity. Some say it with profanity. Some say it kind. But they're all saying the same thing. So I'd like to be a voice that says, yes, you do need to climb, because I want you to become the highest expression of yourself. I want you to meet who you're capable of becoming. But I don't want you to do that at the expense of quality time. I believe you can do both. I believe there's nuance to life. There's a middle area. May not make a great Instagram clip, may not be a great soundbite, may not be a great quote, but the truth is life is lived in that space that's difficult to explain. And I believe you can climb, because I have friends who have done it, and impact and grow and meet the man or woman you're capable of, at the same time create memories as you go. And actually those moments of quality time will actually enhance your ability to contribute, enhance your ability to grow and climb. Number 5, adapt some legacy thinking. What experiences, memories, and impact do you want to leave behind? That's easy for you that are in your 40s, 50s, 60s, and 70s to do. But those of you in your 20s and 30s, can I give you some insight? I was thinking about what I wanted to leave behind in my legacy in my 20s, which is why I've built a big one. And if you're not thinking about that right now, you're just going day to day, I'll figure it out, listen to certain influencers. You're so young at 20 or 30. What are you talking about? Right? There's a ton of multimillionaires in their 20s now. There's this thing called a smartphone. You can start a business. There's all kinds of things you could do. Tell LeBron James he needed to wait. Tell Kobe Bryant. Tell Mark Zuckerberg. Tell Mark Cuban. We could keep going on. Tell Donald Trump. Tell Barack Obama. Tell whoever you want. These people did a lot in their life young. QTR thinking pushes you towards legacy building rather than life drifting. So you can be working really, really hard and making some leaps, and you're drifting through your life. In fact, I believe there's a lot of you listening to me right now that are growing, and you are accomplishing, and you are achieving, and yet you know you're drifting. It's a drift towards nowhere because you don't have the other part of your life intentional. Your goals are intentional, your climb is intentional, your ambitions are intentional, but the QTR part of your life is not intentional. And what you're doing is you're just drifting towards a finish line that never finishes, that you can't even explain. You're in some big hurry to get someplace you can't even define. But I can tell you what you think it is. I think you think that you are hurrying to get to the QTR part of your life. If I just do enough of this, then I'll get quality time, quality memories, amazing moments. So I'll sacrifice all of them now. You don't have to sacrifice all of them. Trust me, everything becomes a pattern. Everything becomes addicting. Everything becomes an obsession if you're going to be great. You have to be obsessed to be great. And if you're not careful, you can wake up at 54 and you've never posted a picture in the group of the QTR. And yet you are the wealthiest and most well-known in that group. I don't want that for you, which is why I share my story with you. Hey, it's Ed Mylett. Let me share something powerful with you. You know, in uncertain times, the smartest people I know protect what they've built. That includes my father-in-law, by the way, who'd been buying gold for a number of years up until his passing, and it paid off for him every single time that he did it. And I'm licensed, so I can't tell you where to put your money, and I would never do that. But I can tell you this. He bought it because gold is timeless, and that's why most of the smart people I know have bought gold. It's real. It doesn't vanish when the market takes a hit. And right now, many smart people I know are investing their money in gold and silver as part of their retirement plan and their future planning. That's why Advantage Gold is a part of our program now. And what I love about what they're doing is they're giving away a free gold and silver investor kit that walks you through exactly how to get started. Text WIN to 85545 to get your free kit. That's WIN to 85545. Don't wait for the next crash. Be the one who's ready. Protect, prepare, and prosper. Message and data rates may apply. Performance varies. Always consult your financial and tax professional. Here's an analogy for you. Expiring milk. Imagine your life was a gallon of milk with an expiration date printed on the side. You just can't see it. You know it's going to expire, but you do not know when. Would you just leave it on the counter, wasting away? Or would you savor it while it's still good? What I'm saying to you is there's an expiration date on your life. You're as young and as healthy as you're probably ever going to be right now. The milk of your life tastes better right now than it ever will. Savor it while it's still good. Trust me, I'm giving you such good counsel. By the way, you can also think about the event countdown. Think about how you act like in the very beginning of a concert you've gone to, how excited you are in that moment, or even at the very end of a concert, right? Or the final scenes of a vacation. You ever been on that beach, you're on your vacation, it's the last night, and you soak it all in, don't you? The view, the salt water, the amazing place you are, the people around you. The last night of a vacation, you just kind of soak it all in, don't you? You know that moment? Or the end of a concert you're at? And you just kind of soak it in like, wow, right? You become incredibly present in those moments. What if you lived your life on the regular that way? Like the regular habit you had was the end of the vacation type soaking things in and presence. Not all the time, because what makes vacation special is it's not all the time. It's a distinguishing moment, a distinction between the norm. But it should be more of the time. I love the contrast of life. I love working really hard, but I do love the vacation part that I've been robbing myself of forever. Soaking it in. Too many of you go, well, Ed, you're more extreme on that than me, so mine's not that bad. No, just because I'm really bad at it doesn't mean you're also not bad at it, just maybe not quite as crazy as I am, right? It can be better. Buddha said, the trouble is you think you have time. No matter what age you are, you think you have time. Give yourself this, the one-day test. What if you just picked one day in the next 2 weeks to intentionally live as if QTR was precious? Call someone and have a deep conversation. Write the letter to somebody. Take the walk. Say the hard thing. Just pick a day. One day. in the next 2 weeks and go, this is going to be a quality time day, right? Doesn't need to be the whole day, but you're intentional about it. See how you feel with that deep conversation, that long walk you've taken, the letter you wanted to write, the beginning of the book you're going to start that you've always said you were going to read or write. Say that thing to somebody you've been sitting on for a while that you love them and you've been afraid to tell them, or you're mad at them and you've been carrying a burden that you want to let go of. Let me give you another thing to do, which I just did. Create a QTR list. Instead of a bucket list, what's your QTR essentials list? What moments or experiences do you want to make sure happen while they still can? And start to list them. I started to do this. I got excited about it's not a bucket list, it's a QTR list. And some of them are, so your bucket list is like big things. QTR can be little moments. I had one last night. Sun was setting, smoking my cigar, watching the Celtics beat the Orlando Magic. And I literally designed that. I looked at the schedule. I said, I'm giving myself a QTR. Me alone. It was one of my moments in the yard, watching my Celtics win, sun setting, smoking at Edmundo Dantes, Condi 54, 2011. I think they only made 1,000 boxes of these things. Oh, so good. That was a QTR moment. I probably should have screenshotted that and sent it to the guys. In fact, I need to. Next time I do it, guys, text is coming. When you know your time is limited, and it is, every second becomes sacred. Start to live today like it's worth one day. All of us will wish for more time. Today you have it. Spend it like it matters, because it does. All of us on some level want more quality time, and that time is running out. I will just tell you that it's not always just running out on you, it's running out on the people that you love. My mom sent me a birthday card for my birthday yesterday. I love her so much. And my mom sent me a card. She wrote this wonderful note with $100 in it. Every birthday, my mom sends me $100. It used to be when I was younger, it was $20. When I was really young, it was $1. But now my mom sends me $100, and she knows, my financial status. But I called her and we talked for a little bit, and I thought to myself, I hope my mom lives another 30 years, but I'm going to soak in this conversation. I don't know how many more quality time remaining I have with my mom on the phone or in person. And that's not just with my mom. That's with anybody that you love in your life. Lily and Daisy and Rose, my little Pomeranians. Well, Rose is a baby, but Lily and Daisy they're getting up there. I can't even imagine if something happens to them. But I only have so much quality time remaining with my little pommies. It may sound soft, but it just makes me savor the moment a little bit more. I don't just pet them with my head up. I pet them and I look in their eyes. And just take in the moment a little more, a little deeper. Maybe that's corny. I do enough content on here about achievement and kicking butt and getting in shape and making your dreams happen and being intense. And I've spent most of my life as a very, very intense guy. And I like that guy. But he's also an obstacle to the peaceful guy. That intense guy achieves a lot, helps a lot of people. And I like him. I'm very familiar with him. I've lived with intense Ed Mylett most of my life. But that guy doesn't have a lot of quality moments. And in the time I have remaining, whether that's 2 years, 2 weeks, or 100 years, I need to have another person exist that creates those memories, that quality time. The people around me deserve it. The people around you deserve it. And I wanted to share this with you today because I'm going to do more work on QTR. I'm going to write about it. I'm going to talk about it. I'm going to create more strategies. I'm going to create content around it that's going to help you at every area of your life. And by the way, some of the great quality times of my life have been my achievements. Those were quality moments, quality times I've shared with the people I achieved it with. There's nothing better than winning in business and looking around the room with your teammates going, man, we did it. We did something awesome. We made history. Nobody thought we could do this thing, and we're doing it. That's a quality time, right? And I want more of those remaining. I'm not saying achievement is not quality time, but sometimes the pursuit and the day-to-day of doing it can rob us from the moments that could be. But believe me when I tell you, when you make me flash through the quality moments of my life, some of them are business. Some of them are tremendous achievements with people I believe in and I love. Some of them are moments with my family like that as well, where, man, we did it. Our family's awesome. We overcame it. We've changed our family. We've changed our bloodline forever. No one's ever going to have their thumb on the Myletts. I'm the one. All of that matters. But so does the other stuff. So does soaking in that sunset and breathing in that salt water on the last day of vacation. And you don't have to be in front of the ocean in Hawaii to give yourself that time or that moment or that quality of experience. The quality of experience is you being fully present and being intentional about making it a magic moment and a memory. See, I think our life is not about necessarily all the minutes we live, but it's a handful of memories and moments that we hold on to. If I asked you about your life right now, you would flash to a handful of moments that were special. The birth of your children, the day you got married, the day you graduated college, a magic moment with the person you're intimate with, or something special in your life that happened with another person, or a sunset you took in, or a vacation you're on, or a place you saw, or something you experienced, or a concert you went to, or an athletic event you were there for, except it shouldn't just be a handful. And some of them cost nothing. Like Bella climbing into Daddy's lap and us just talking up close and her giving me a kiss on the cheek. Doesn't cost anything. They don't have to cost money. QTR, my friends, start talking about it. Start texting it to each other. You better share this episode because it could change people's lives. It could change your life. Man, it might change the world if we get enough of this out there. God bless you. Max out.